Okay, this is the DekTak tool. You can measure your sample, measure the resistance, the resist thickness, and alter the edge depths by this machine. It will normally look like that with the glass will be closed. You can turn it on so that you can see there's a stage for holding the sample. Okay, you can move the stage very gently. There's a button here also for the XY direction. You can also rotate your sample like that. Because the tip of this equipment is very delicate, we never put our hands into this area because you got a chance to touch the tip and broke it. So when we load the sample, we always take out the stage first and put the sample on it and push it back like this. Now we can load our sample onto the stage. Put your sample. If the sample is small, it doesn't need to be at the center of the stage. Just make sure you get enough range to make to move your sample during measurement. Then we put the sample right beneath the tip. And now we can start the software from the computer. Double click the icon DekTak 32. To see your sample, we need to click there's a button here. Actually showing the camera from the DekTak. And then we start to put the tip down to your sample by pressing the tower down button. And then you will see the tip start to going down to a sample. You can slightly move the sample to make sure that the tip stops on your sample surface. And once the tip is on your sample, you can see it from the computer screen. You can change the light power by these two buttons. You can also change the magnification of the microscope from there's a control here. So now we decrease the magnification. The screen is too bright, so we reduce the light power. And we also need to calibrate the tip position every time when we use it. You do right click the mouse and do the stylus reticule to the align. Then you will see that we need to make sure that the probe is in the yellow square of this box. You could move this tip by changing this one and this one. Okay. Yeah. You could move from X direction and move the y direction, just to make sure that the tip is in the center of the box. And you could also change the focus to see the tip. And then we use the mouse. There's a cross on the mouse. We use the cross center to be overlapped with the tip, and double click it. Then the calibration finished. We can now start the measurement. And on the screen you can find a red cross, and this is to show where the tip will be attaching your sample surface.
Okay. Now explain the calibration.
Okay. Sometimes we need to do a calibration for the tip position every time when we use the machine. So we do right click the mouse and do the stylus, the reticule, and align. It will automatically put the tip down onto the surface of the sample. Make sure that the tip is roughly in the center of this yellow box showing on the screen, and use your mouse where is also a cross here, a white cross here, overlap with the tip, and double click it, then the calibration finish. We can do the measurement. After calibration the tip, we can do the measurement. For example, if we want to measure, if we want to scan from this point and the weight to this point, just to see the profile of this device. For example, we start from this point and end at this point. So we'll scan in this direction. Okay. And now we need to set the parameters we want to scan by clicking this button here, switch to scan routine window, click it, then it will show you all the scan parameters. The most important parameters are, the first thing is scan length. It will actually, you click the scan length, it will show you another window. You can change the length of the scanning depending on your device size. For example, this one we set 500 micrometer, and also the duration. The longer the duration is, the more accurate you have, but you do not need to be set too long. Normally 20 or 30 seconds should be enough. And also stylus force, also depending on what sample you are measuring. If the sample is very easy to be scratched, you'd better to set the force to be around 5 or 6 milligram. And also we are going to measure both the hills and the valleys on the sample surface, so we select the hills and the valleys. There's also a slight stylus type. It was 2.5 micron, we do not need to change it. Standard scan, and also the measurement range of the tip. For example, if we have a very high step to measure, we need to set a larger range. This one stands for 6.5 micron, while the other one stands for 65.5 micron. For the standard measurement, 6.5 micron should be enough. If it's not enough after the measurement, we can change it later. Apply and OK. Then we've done all the setting up for the parameters. We need to go back to the microscope by clicking this button. And now remember, we know that this point is where the tip will touch your sample. So we start from this point and we'll end from and at a distance at a length as you set 5 micrometer, and we'll stop at this point. So we only need to set the starting point. For example, we start from here and we put the cross to the point we want, and we will start the run the scan by clicking this button. You will see the machine will put the tip down, touch the surface of the sample, and it's exactly the point as we set with the red cross. And once it starts the scanning, it will show the data it have on the sample. As we're seeing here, the DekTak is saturated here. That means the measurement range is not enough, so we need to change it, change our parameters, and scan it again. We see it's out of range, more than 3 micron here, so we need to go back to the scan routines window to change our parameters, do the scan length, and change the measurement range to 65.5 micron. Press OK. Then we go back to the microscope screen and scan. Click the scan button again, because we didn't change the position of the starting point, so we can start the measurement again. And you will see that this time the range is enough for this measurement. Okay. After measurement, you will see the notice that even at the same surface, for example here and here, they're not in a horizontal level, so we need to tilt the data. For example, we set the two. We know the 2 point is on the same surface of the sample, so we put this 2 point. We want to set this 2 point should be horizontal. So we set it here, another one here, and press the other button here. Then we will see that these two surfaces actually in the same horizontal level. And now we can do the measurement. We set this as 0. And you can measure, for example, from here, this point to this point, the height is, you can read the height from the parameter setting here, so it's about 7.550 nanometer, 7.5 micrometer. If you want to save the data, you can do file, save as, choose CSV data and set the data name and save it. Okay. Once you're done it, you need to raise this tip by clicking this button, toggle up, and you will see the tip is upping. Okay. We'll So again, we do not touch try not to touch the tip. We just take the stage out and get the sample and put it back to the box. And job done. Also, you can turn. Also, you need to turn off the software once you finish the measurement. And then it's done.